Good afternoon, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and today we're going to be looking at a game a long time in the making called Starship Troopers Terran Command. Would you like to know more? The game was developed by the Aristocrats and published by Slytherin Ltd. The game is advertised as a real-time strategy game featuring war, tactics, and military. I mean, overall, like I had to say something about this, overall the tags for this game are pretty redundant. I'm sorry I'm focusing on this, but it's a little bit hilarious. War, RTS, which means real-time strategy, strategy, tactical, and military are the tags. Now, how many of those are pretty much the exact same thing but said differently? It doesn't really tell me a lot about it, so let's look deeper. And yes, I was among those 5,000 viewers waiting for that countdown because I'm a huge Starship Troopers fan and was really looking forward to this game. I've been looking forward to it for a long time now. So let's dive in together and see if it's worth it or not, yeah? So first and foremost, I gotta talk about how cool this game is and how iconic it is. I love the fact that there's a Starship Troopers game and that it's an RTS. I feel like, if you're gonna do it like this, then you gotta do it like it's an RTS, or maybe an in-depth RPG that's first-person shooter. But, you know, I just love RPGs, so maybe I'm a bit biased there. But anyway, the game lets you take control of different squads. So far, I've encountered rocket squads, rifle squads, sniper squads, flamethrower squads, and radio squads. Each does what you'd think they do, and the game offers you very limited base management as well. You basically find a radio tower, call down a couple of supply tents, and it unlocks new units. That's the base management. You can build turrets with your engineers, which also happen to be your flamethrowers, and you can call down reinforcements for your different squads as they take casualties with your radio squad. The gist of this game is go from point A to point B killing bugs, and sometimes, really rarely, you'll defend a fort. That's about it. The first 5 missions are just that, with some dialogue and a few side objectives, but otherwise rinse and repeat. And overall, that's the gameplay, which is a little bit lame in my own personal opinion. I see a lot of people giving this game positive reviews on Steam, but all of them are quite obviously heavy Starship Trooper fans, and therefore, since they're not really saying anything factual or critical of the game, I'm not going to take them very seriously, and I would recommend you not take them very seriously as well. They have their blinders on with this one, and it shows. But anyway, right now, the point is to talk about the good. So, the hokey voice acting is true to form, and actually doesn't take away from the game, but makes it feel more like a Starship Troopers product. They have the different slides giving you information about the bugs and the history and whatever else, just like in the movies. The music is amazing and super iconic and fits just as it should. The Marines are loud, boisterous, and moronic, just like you'd expect, and the gunfire sounds just like it should too. So do the aliens, the bugs. The combat animations from the Marines to the bugs all look accurate and appropriate. It was really cool just watching a few squads of your Marines line up and just form a firing squad as they fire all simultaneously at this horde of bugs coming at you. Most shots miss, and it takes several shots to take down a bug, but it still looked and felt accurate to the movies and other source material, so overall, fantastic animations during the combat. And since we're on that vein of looks, let's talk about the graphics. I think they're perfect for this particular situation. They give just the right amount of detail, and they give just the right amount of color and variations that makes the whole thing just come together really well. So in short, it looks good, and it sounds good. Would you like to know more? Of course, with all good things, there must be some bad. This game, of course, has its fair share of bad, but some of these bad might be so bad that it's just too bad, and that's bad. Understand? For instance, the positioning of your troops is a bit wonky. As far as I can tell, they don't really get behind cover at all, even from spitter or ranged bugs. But they also don't snap into position when they're on walls defending a fort. So they'll constantly be glitching out or just grouped up into a mosh pit that just looks ugly and a little bit out of place. I mean, come on. Company of Heroes 2, which came out forever ago, had a cover system where your units hide behind cover and looked realistic. And okay, sure, we're fighting bugs who mostly charge at you, so you don't need cover. But why couldn't they have at least had something like that when it comes to defending the walls? You know, at least behind the walls when you're defending a place, let your guys get into some kind of formation or something and just make it look overall cooler, since that pretty much seems to be the point of this game, which is to make everything look cool. Next is the move attack button. That's a little bit off as well. Instead of moving and attacking like you'd expect, move, then stop and fire, they just keep walking forward and they'll sporadically stop to fire a shot or two, and then they'll move a couple steps forward and do it again. Clearly not enough to kill a bug, but definitely enough to get close enough to die to one. It makes your troops get dangerously close to the bugs unnecessarily since their range is crazy, and since the majority of my playthrough, and yours too, involves a lot of running around, this kind of issue had me sweating bullets more than a few times as my troops just got way too close to the bugs. Then we have the biggest problem that I can see. The game currently has no multiplayer options, it only has about 20 missions, give or take, with a couple of bonus missions, and it took me an hour to get through the first 4 missions. Now, if you take off the tutorial, then it took me an hour to get through 3 missions, but it's more like maybe 40 minutes to get through 3 missions. The point is, it's basically an hour per 4 missions. Now, that means that this game will take you maybe 5 or 6 hours to beat, depending on various difficulties or other random variables. And with no choices, no options, diverging paths, that means it's got very low replayability as well. It's literally going to be the same thing over and over again. You go from point A to point B using the exact same path to accomplish the exact same mission over and over again, no matter how many times you go back and replay it. So let's think about this. 5 hours of gameplay, same gameplay every single time you play, no multiplayer, and the paths, I mean the overall loop of the game is just going from point A to point B, killing the same bugs over and over again. All of that for $30. Once you play it through, you're pretty much done. No playing it anymore. No unit customizations, no unique heroes or units, no diverging paths, and no in-depth tactics. Nothing. Now to me, that almost makes this game a dud. So overall, should you buy this game and play it? Well, as far as RTS games go, I've definitely seen better. As far as tactical games, again, I've definitely seen better. Unfortunately, I have to stay objective here no matter how much I love Starship Troopers. Overall, I think the game is average. It's not doing anything new or innovative, it's not offering us anything outstanding. All it's doing when you look at it subjectively is giving us a subpar tactical game with a Starship Troopers skin. Now let's take a look at another RTS that came out and did something new and innovative a long time ago. Starcraft 2. When it first came out, it included a divergent path system with consequences and rewards and various cutscenes that give you that show you what your choices ended up affecting or how they changed dialogue. There were unique characters that you could talk to and learn about, and you could even include later on in your game. Mission choices that affected your playthrough, along with different research that grants you new or improved units, all under a story that we all know very well and love. Now that was an RTS game trying to do something new and to be innovative, and it worked amazingly well. Now I'm not saying that this game is bad. For what it does and for what it offers, the game is still fun, it's still engaging, and it's just awesome to be playing a Starship Troopers game at all. But if I take a step back and look at it subjectively, I'm not too sure I'll ever revisit the game again. Not unless they unlock a lot more levels or a multiplayer function. It's a damn shame because honestly the game isn't bad. It's not good either. That's the problem. It's just average. I know my opinion will most likely be highly unpopular, but you gotta remember that I'm also a huge Starship Trooper fan, and I still have to stay objective and look at it as just a game, and it's just average. Is the price tag appropriate? I still think so. I mean, it does give you 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. The quality is there in the sound, the look, and the stability, along with the voice acting. But would I recommend this game? Only if you're a Starship Troopers fan. You'll love the nostalgia, you'll love the familiarity. They got the accuracy of the guns right, the lore right, the storytelling right, the bugs right, the sound effects right. They got a lot of things right here, but the repetitive gameplay and the lack of ambition is shown pretty early on. In short, if you're a Starship Troopers fan and you just need your fix, then pick this up. It'll scratch that itch for you, definitely. But if you're not a fan or never heard of it, well, first off, what's wrong with you? Go watch the movies. Especially the first one, it's the best. But I wouldn't recommend this to you. It wouldn't hit you the same way that it's going to hit the rest of the fans. And overall, it's just average. It's an average tactical game that doesn't really do anything super amazing. You can't recruit units, you can't build a barracks, you can't build fortifications. The most you can build is a turret, and you can call down a tent that will summon one type of unit, one at a time. I mean, it feels like they had plans to make this into something bigger, and then I guess maybe funding got cut short, or time got cut short, or I don't know what. But they need a real in-depth feel to this game. They need more tactics. They need mission choices. They need orbital commands. They need unique, iconic heroes or units. They just need, like, for instance, your units can get promoted, but when they get promoted, all it does is unlock, like, a grenade function or a shotgun function. It doesn't change their look at all. It doesn't change their squad name. No one's singled out. There's no heroes. There's no nothing. They level up, and then you get barely anything. They don't even get any better at fighting or living, so what's the point? So it needs a lot more. If they're going for the tactical route and not the RTS route, which is how it feels like, then they need to go more in that direction. But that's all I got to say for this video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, or any concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.
Tell us what to do.